Shabbat Shalom. Happy New Year. When I celebrated my birthday last week, I got the most amazing gift. Being that we were in California where I grew up, I got to spend the afternoon with my mother. Truly, is there anything better? We went shopping, we had lunch, we talked, we laughed, we reminisced. It was so lovely. And given the fact that we live on opposite sides of the country, it was all the more wonderful. As we passed our plates back and forth over lunch, hers was the much better order, by the way. We talked about the trajectories of our lives, our choices, our paths, our hopes and dreams. We traded stories. We talked about heartaches and heartbreaks. But mostly, I just listened to her musings, her reflections, her projections, and her hard-earned wisdom, hoping I could learn from her mistakes and grow from her triumphs. We have much to learn from our mothers, past and present. This week, as we begin the book of Exodus and a new chapter in the history of our people, we are introduced to three remarkable mothers whose wisdom, determination, fearlessness, and love changed the very course of biblical history. They are Yocheved, Moses' birth mother and wet nurse, Batya, Moses' adoptive mother, and Tzipporah, Moses' wife and the mother of his children. These mothers facilitate Moses' survival and his success. They are responsible for Moses' identity formation, and they ensure that Moses finds his way towards his eventual purpose to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. As we learn in our Talmud in the name of Rav Avirah, because of the merit of these righteous women, the Jewish people were redeemed from Egypt. Our survival as a people and as a nation is in large measure to these extraordinary mothers, Yocheved, Batya, and Tzipporah. It is a mother's love and determination that compels Yocheved to do everything in her power to save her son Moses. Though she gives birth to Moses after the Pharaoh issued his edict that all male Israelite children were to be killed upon birth, she refuses to let Moses die, and for 3 months hides him away, daringly defying the Pharaoh's decree. And when she can no longer hide him, she makes the greatest sacrifice a mother could ever make. She gives her baby away in order that he might live. Placing him in a basket and setting it down the Nile, it is because of Yocheved's unimaginable bravery that Moses survives. It is a mother's love and determination that urges the Pharaoh's daughter, whose name our later sources reveal is Batya, to draw Moses out of the water. When Batya sees that he is a Hebrew child, Batya rebels against every rule established in her home and country, embracing him instead of rejecting him. Though Moses represents the other and the enemy, Batya disregards these labels and simply sees a young child, a baby, suffering before her. In so doing, Batya embodies radical kindness and compassion, opening her arms to a child who would otherwise be labeled a threat, a child she is meant to hate. But Batya renounces this animosity as she peers into the eyes of baby Moses. She sees only love, and so she responds in kind. And it is a mother's love and determination that spurs Tzipporah's astonishing act of bravery as well, As Moses and his wife Zipporah make their way back to Egypt, Moses is approached by God, or some say an angel of God. The angel wants to kill Moses on account of his failure to circumcise his son. At that moment, Zipporah takes a stone and circumcises her son right then and there, and in so doing, Zipporah ensures her son will still have a father as they begin this very uncertain journey. With swift decisiveness, Zipporah protects the integrity and stability of her family, arguably for the sake of her son. Indeed, in the portrayals of Yocheved, Batya, and Zipporah, the Torah reminds us that a mother's love and determination can generate unimaginable power, bravery, compassion, and understanding. It can ground heroic acts of resistance. It can transcend prejudice and divisiveness, and it can engender fathomless strength and faith. A mother's love is fierce. It is unceasing, and it is immeasurable. Today, as war wages in Israel and Palestine, we are witnessing the staggering power of motherhood on full display. Mothers resolutely holding families together as their children and partners are sent to war. Mothers readily opening their homes and dining rooms to displaced civilians from the rocket barrage north and war-torn south. Mothers rushing to volunteer for soldiers in need of supplies and food and other creature comforts. Mothers anxiously counting the days of war, of military service, and of captivity alongside their neighbors. Mothers standing up, mothers speaking out, mothers petitioning, campaigning, and advocating day and night for the release of hostages from Gaza. Tonight, we lift up the voice of one such mother, Rachel Goldberg Polin, whose son Hirsch has been held captive by Hamas since October 7th. Rachel, who has been called the face, voice, and conscience of the war, has fought tirelessly alongside her husband for the release of her son, saying, "We have to keep running to the ends of the earth to save him." As the Fore's editor-in-chief, Jody Rudoran, writes, since October 7th, Rachel's met with President Joe Biden and billionaire Elon Musk, delivered a 9-minute address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York, and sung a lullaby at a rally in Tel Aviv. She's been profiled in People magazine, The Atlantic, and America, the Jesuit Review, written op-eds for the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, appeared on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox Business, among many other news outlets. This is a mother on a grueling and excruciating mission to rescue her son. She will stop at nothing to do that and to raise awareness for every hostage still in captivity. Rachel Goldberg Polin speaks to presidents. She speaks to dignitaries. She speaks to journalists. She speaks to movie stars, TV legends, and podcast hosts. She speaks to synagogues, lay leaders, and clergy. She's even spoken to the Pope. But perhaps most strikingly, Rachel Goldberg Polin speaks to other mothers, appealing to their sense of family, responsibility, love, and care. In her New York Times op-ed entitled, "I hope someone somewhere is being kind to my boy," she writes, "Every single person in Gaza has a mother or had a mother at some point. And I would say this then, as a mother to other mothers. If you see Hirsch, please help him. I really think I would help your son if he was in front of me, injured, near me. And weeks later, in a speech to the United Nations in Geneva, Rachel offered a heart-wrenching poem entitled "One Tiny Seed," in which she mused, "I know that way over there's another woman who looks just like me, because we are all so very similar, and she has also been crying. Could it be that this woman, so very like me, that she and I could be sitting together in 50 years, laughing without teeth, and our sons have their own grandchildren, and our sons have long lives, one of them without an arm, but who needs two arms anyway?" In her messages to the world, Rachel always comes back to motherhood. There, she centers her anguish, her determination, her hope, and also her rage. "Where are the mothers?" she cried out in a video she posted on day 60 of Hirsch's captivity. "In all of these rooms all over the world that decide the fate of all of us, where are the women? I don't think there's any mothers in there. I think at the negotiating table and in the war room, they should send their mothers instead of them." On this Shabbat, I wonder, regardless of our gender or family structure, if we could be those mothers that Rachel is looking for. Could we be the voices of urgency and compassion and humanity that are missing from those rooms? Could we embody the sensitivity and understanding that are lacking? Could we show up with the strength and stamina and resolve that are so necessary in this moment? And could we do everything in our power to save these hostages? Could we fight and rally and scream because the hostages cannot? Could we call our representatives and sign the petitions and post the stories to bring attention to the innocents still suffering in the most unimaginable of ways? And finally, could we not just today or tomorrow, but every day, for as long as it takes, model ourselves after these valiant mothers to help bring Hirsch and the other 128 hostages back home? I believe we must, and I know we can. Dear friends, we have much to learn from our mothers, past and present. But tonight, let the lesson be one of steely determination in the face of great crisis, steadfast commitment in the face of great fatigue, and unyielding hope in the face of great despair. Our mothers did not, would not, nor will not give up the fight, and neither can we. Bring them home. Bring them home.
God on high, hear my prayer. In my need, you have always been there.
He is young.
love.